Good morning. You're listening to FloorDaily.net, and I'm Kemp Harr. This morning, my guest on the eve of Thanksgiving is Russell Grizzle, the president and CEO of Mannington. Russell, how you doing?
I'm terrific this morning, Kemp. Hope you are.
I am. I got to mention that this announcement that you're retiring at the end of the year, I'm happy for you, but I'm sad to see you go. I've appreciated our relationship and the fact that you've called me and asked me several times, what do you think? You've actually done a lot. I want to run through. If anybody wants to see, Russell, your whole career history, we did a focus on leadership on you in April of 2012. You went to Georgia Tech, graduated there, and went straight into Milliken's flooring division. And you spent 31 years at Milliken, then followed Tom Davis over here to Mannington, came over in 2010 and spent 12 years at Mannington as the leader. So that's 43 years of service to this flooring industry, and my hat's off to you. Let's talk about some of the major changes that have happened at Mannington while you've been at the helm. Obviously, the Amtico acquisition. These are not in order, but the Farr Phoenix acquisition, which put Mannington in the residential carpet business. Then you've purchased Dixie's commercial carpet business. Just recently purchased Georgia Carpet Finishers. Also on the other side, you sold off the hardwood plant. You sold off the VCT business to Armstrong. You actually exited a joint venture you had with Tarkett. You ramped up production of LVT both in Calhoun and Madison. You've also transitioned through a lot of good talent, which I know as a leader of a business can be difficult. People like Ed Duncan and Joe Amato, and you've put a strong bench in there to come in behind them. You've been busy, haven't you?
Well, I sure have, Kemp. I'd also say thank you for your relationship and your support of me and Mannington Mills through the years. We have been very active. We've spent a lot of time studying the market, listening to our customers, trying to figure out where the market was going to go ahead of time. And with the support of our board of directors, the Campbell family, my full executive team, and all the associates at Mannington, we've been able to make a lot of strategic moves that, for the most part, have turned out to be in the right direction of where the market was going. This industry is truly a different industry than it was 15 years ago. And for the most part, with the support of that whole team, it's not ever one person. It's a full team that takes. And your input, some of our phone calls through the years have been invaluable in helping us figure out where it was going.
I was going to ask you your proudest moment, and I know you really can't comment on this one since it's a family-held business, but our estimate is that you've helped lead this business to be a billion-dollar company. So that's quite an achievement. What would you say is your proudest moment?
The proudest moment for Mannington and me, I think, was pulling off the Amtico acquisition. There were a lot of debate. Folks thought that LVT was just going to be a flash in the pan at that point, was not going to turn into the phenomenon that it really does. So we did a lot of study and a lot of work. I decided to double down and get into LVT in a big way. We felt like at the time it wasn't going to become a commodity like some other categories did through the years, and that because it was such a strong product in both the residential and the commercial market. But the most fun I've had was being able to go around to all of our company at Mannington Mills and make that communications that we had just taken a big step to buy, at that time, big company as a percentage of our revenue. So that was probably the single biggest highlight and probably changed Mannington for the better for a long time.
I remember Keith standing up at the microphone and saying, anybody want to buy me lunch because my bank account's empty? So I know it was a huge purchase.
It was not great timing from raising the capital standpoint either. So we made a big bet that was kind of risky. So we're happy that the market continued to go like we predicted.
And are you happy with this big decision to bring Mannington into the residential carpet business?
Yes, obviously. It's still the single biggest category within the industry. It has gone through a lot of challenges. If you'll remember, Kemp, we made the acquisition in February, and by 6 weeks later, middle of March, we were in the pandemic. It has not been easy, but we're still proud that it's in part of our portfolio. And as you said, making our company significant to all the customers out there in a bigger way.
Yeah. Are you happy to be retiring at this point?
I am. I wish we were ending on normal kind of business conditions. But with so many challenges today in business, and it has been going on now for 3 or 4 years, between just unprecedented raw material inflation, price increases that we have to pass on, to supply issues, and the organization trying to make product substitutions and things like that. Obviously, one thing that impacted us pretty difficultly on top of all those things was the Invista yarn fiber exit, which we've been able to manage through as well. So, yes, I'm ready to retire. I think we have a great team, and Tom Penley and the rest of the organization that we've been able to put in place.
Yeah, hopefully this headwind we're facing is kind of artificially induced. So hopefully it'll be a V, and we'll come out and there'll be high demand on the other side.
For everybody that's out there still in business, it is going to get back to normal one day. It's going to get back to what we've all known for so many years of great relationships. And I would say, Kemp, of those 43 years, I've spent 36 of those in the flooring industry. I was in a different part of Milliken at part of my time. And one of the things I love about this industry is the people. I love it so much.
So you know what they say, once you get in flooring, you never leave. So
that's right. I think it's because of the people. Going back to the history, I also add, Kemp, we mentioned LBT in the last 10 or 15 years, been such a big phenomenon. But early in my career as a technical person, I was out of Georgia Tech. I was very much involved in the original startup of carpet tile back when it was a fusion bonded product. So that took the whole industry by storm as well. So 2 major product shifts during that 43 years.
One question I'd like to ask, Mannington, 107-year-old family-run business, still here, still strong, growing, and there's been, another one that fell out earlier this year and didn't make it. Why do you think Mannington's still here now?
Well, our people are unique and different. They're all dedicated to the success of the company. As I mentioned earlier, it takes a full team. The leadership, the support that you get from a board of directors to the owners. I think the one thing that we've done exceptionally well for a relatively small privately held company in the last 15 years is predict and stay close to the market forecasting and try to be a leader in moving quickly rather than late. And we've had great support to do that. So we've been able to see the change in LBT, see the decline in VCT, see that wood was going to be very difficult, at least for a small manufacturer, and take that over to a sourcing model. So we've been able to see the things that were changing within our industry and adapt early rather than late when it was dictated to us.
Yeah, that takes strong leadership, and you've done a great job. So what are you and Janice going to do next?
First of all, I'll still be on the Mannington Board of Directors. Beyond that, wherever my grandkids are is where I'm going to be, whether that's sports or whatever. So I have 5 of those. I'm going to spend all my time with them and hopefully get my golf handicap down a little bit and get back in touch with some of my friends from high school and college, spend some time with them. And I guess the most important thing I'm looking forward to, Kemp, particularly after the last 3 or 4 years, is sleeping a little bit better. Yeah. So that I'm not up checking numbers in the middle of the night and things like that. Just kind of get some rest and clear my head a little bit.
All right. Well, thanks so much for your contribution to this industry. And again, been talking to Russell Grizzle, who's retiring at the end of the year from the leadership role at Mannington. And you've been listening to Kemp Harr and FloorDaily.net.